Hey, I'm Herald sports writer Manny Navarro, joined once again by Fernandez, our high school sports editor. We're here at Dade Christian School where state playoffs are set to begin. Dre, we're finally going to get going.
It's playoff time. It's a season of parity because you've seen all the major players had at least one loss this year, except Coral Gables. If I would have told you pick a team that would stay undefeated through
Not
it all,
my first choice.
Not your first choice, right? And that's not an offense to the Cavaliers, but maybe they're even a little surprised they've at least run the table. Maybe not, but we'll see how Gables and other teams do. And this team doing pretty well too. They only have one loss this season.
Yeah, 9-1, these Dade Christian Crusaders. And let's start there, Andre, as we get the first week of the playoffs rolling here. These guys here are going to be hosting Naples Community School. We just got talking with Coach Nick Martinez about the matchup. What do you think about it?
I mean, it's a tough game to pick. I mean, you see Naples Community School, they have a good, solid running game. Dade Christian looks like they've put together, a solid squad. They haven't had to rely too much on two-way athletes like they did the last couple seasons, which you saw them, that really took a toll on them. And I think that endurance is going to help. They're at home. It's going to be close, but I think they can manage to get past this one. They've played a pretty decent schedule, for a Class 2A team, and I think it'll pay off in the first round.
All right, well, we got a bunch of matchups to get to, so let's try to roll through this as quickly as we can. We're going to start from the bottom and go up. Oh, who was the rapper that said that?
Start from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, wasn't that Drake?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't want to be quoting Drake on this show, but hey, we just did. All right, the Southeastern Football Conference Championship game. Calvary Christian 8-2 taking on Coral Springs Charter 10-0. 7 o'clock kickoff Saturday at Pompano Beach. Dre, who do you got in this one?
Well, Calvary took it home last year. The way Charter's been playing, they got a really solid squad, and I think Charter wins it this year. I picked them to do it last year, and they came up short. This time they get it done.
Yeah, I agree with you. The other game, it's the lower division of that greater football. The Gold Coast Football Conference. That would be Key West 6-4 taking on Archbishop McCarthy, who's 10-0, an undefeated Archbishop McCarthy, one of the few undefeated.
Yeah, and let me tell you, they're you look at them. Yes, they're independent, but this team is pretty good. If they were in one of the districts down maybe south, they'd probably be very competitive. They played some teams. They've beaten 4 teams that are in the regular playoffs with pretty good records this season. I saw them last week, solid running game. Anthony Ray is leading Broward County in rushing. I think they're going to pull it off. They already beat Key West this season by 20 points. I think, it's a matter of them pulling it off one more time in the playoffs.
All right, let's move up to 8A. Dre, first off, you got a bunch of really good matchups there. Let's start off in Broward County. We're going to go back to the top now. Let's go off with Piper taking on Flanagan. Piper's 9-1, Flanagan 7-2.
Yeah, I mean, Piper's had a great season. You got to, give credit to what the Bengals have been able to do to go 9-1. Big turnaround year for them. It's been a while since they've been in the postseason. It's been an even longer while since they've won a playoff game. I think it's 12 years or so. It might be one more. I don't think Flanagan's going to lose, especially in the first round. They're determined, especially after they lost to St. Thomas.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. This one I like. Columbus 9-1 going over to American, who's 6-4 at Mailander. Americans won, I think, 4 straight district titles now, but they're still looking for their first playoff win. Do they get it here?
I think they're still going to be looking for it after this game, although it's going to be close. I think it comes down to Columbus's quarterback, Alex Ross, has meant a lot for them this year. He got hurt against Booker T. His absence was really felt against Coral Gables 2 weeks ago, but I think that the Explorers have enough to get past this round, even if he doesn't play, but they're going to need him in the rematch later on.
Southridge taking on Belen Jesuit. Southridge 6-4, Belen 7-3. This is an afternoon kickoff.
Southridge should win this game, but I've been burned before by not picking Belen in this type of a game. So I know I wrote it today. I picked Belen by 1 point. Just something about them when they play in the afternoon at home, and that team, they're coached well and they get it done.
All right, Plantation taking on Deerfield Beach, 8-2 versus 9-1. The Bucks at home. They had that big win over St. Thomas earlier this year. Do they keep it rolling against Plantation?
I think they do. I mean, their secondary has just been phenomenal this week, this whole year, not just this week. Last week they had 5 picks in their regular season finale, and I think they keep it on a roll. I mean, Plantation won't throw that much, but Deerfield has too much, and I think the Bucks roll on.
All right, let's go down to Class 7A, where West Broward is taking on a 9-1 Sunset team, that wins the district title. I don't know how often that's happened there. They were my rivals when I was in high school at Braddock. So what about West Broward, 7-3, where I live now, out there way out west?
Maybe I should send you to this game. I mean, you got all these storylines behind it. But, no, tremendous turnaround for West Broward. I mean, No offense, but the laughing stock of Broward County a couple years back. I mean, they were having trouble just scoring points. So what they've done, the kind of turnaround they've had, has been tremendous. Sunset, though, very impressive. Coach Patisco gets a kick out of it when I pick against them, but I'm not going to do that this week. And I got one little thing for you. Of all those teams in that area, the Braddocks, the Fergusons, Barella, none of them ever won a playoff game. Sunset might be the first.
We will find out. I'd be happy for the Knights, even though they were my rivals. How about this one? Royal Palm Beach at St. Thomas Aquinas. Aquinas, so many injuries. I know you saw them last week against Flanagan. They're 8-1. Royal Palm Beach 6-5 going into this game.
Well, as Coach Harriet so kindly reminded me, it doesn't matter when they have injuries. Look at the depth of that roster, the quality depth, as he told me the other day, and you can't argue with it. And I think they roll against Royal Palm Beach and might set up a matchup with Dwyer.
How about Ely, though? They come back and they win a game last week. They're 2-8. They're taking on a 9-1 Dwyer team. Can Ely all of a sudden catch some momentum here?
I don't think they can go on the road and beat Dwyer, but I don't think they're going to get pummeled the way some people thought a few weeks back. You know, it's 2-8, but it's 2-8 against a pretty good schedule for Ely, and I think they'll hang in there for a little bit. But this Dwyer team, I think, is determined to face St. Thomas in the second round. You'll see it happen.
All right, in 6A, these are the two big matchups. Miami Central has to go up to Boyd Anderson. This is the game of the week without question. What do you think of this matchup?
I mean, I love this matchup. I think, you know, the skill that you're going to see out of a Boyd Anderson team that's really turned things around from 0-10. Their secondary is solid. They can move the football. They can throw the football. But I can't go against the Rockets defense, even though on the road. This is where Central always gets doubted the most, and this is where they usually show up. And I think they will on Friday night.
All right, in the other game, Carroll City taking on Dillard. Carroll City 8-2, Dillard 6-4. They get the home field advantage at Travis Powell Stadium.
Chiefs might roll big in this one. I mean, in Dillard, I couldn't believe they lost the Soul Bowl. They've been up and down the whole season. If they don't get some kind of consistency, this is going to get ugly fast because a lot of firepower on Carroll City.
All right, and what about Booker T. Washington? This might be maybe the more interesting matchup of the week. BTW 5-5, three-time defending state champions in 4A. They get Nova Southeastern University School. U School's actually had a pretty good year. They're 7-3.
Yeah, they're another turnaround story in Broward County. I mean, they were in shambles last year. New coaching staff. Coach Luque actually comes in and stabilizes, brings in a few veteran coaches like Coach Wayne Blair and guys like that. And all of a sudden it's rolling again. They haven't gotten quite back to what they were a couple of years ago, but they're on their way. Can they beat Booker T in this one? It's going to be hard because at Traz, especially if Daniel Richardson's playing the way he's capable of, the freshman quarterback at Booker T, I'm picking the Tornadoes in this one, but even if it does happen, U School's on the way back.
All right, a couple more 8A matchups for you here. We'll throw them at you quickly. Southwest, South Dade down at Harris Field.
I got to think South Dade. That offensive line is just nasty, and they'll just run the ball all day.
Hialeah, Coral Gables. Gables undefeated at 9-0. That's a Thursday, 7 o'clock kickoff at Tropical Park.
Yeah, Gables makes it double digits, 10-0, remains unbeaten one more week.
7A, Mater Academy at Nova. Nova, the district champions.
First time in 21 years for the Titans, but unfortunately I think Mater just has a little too much. I think they find a way on the road and set up a rematch with Sunset.
Down to 5A, Fort Pierce Westwood at American Heritage, the two-time defending state champions.
Yeah, the defending champs, and they're on their way to a three-peat. If they can just, you know, not have any slip-ups, they won't this week.
Hollandale will have to go on the road and play Riviera Beach Suncoast. That's a 5-5 team. Do they have trouble?
It's a road trip. They'll probably take them a few minutes to get established, but once Tyler Huntley starts throwing the ball, they'll be fine.
Delray American Heritage at Westminster Christian, 2:30 p.m. kickoff on Friday.
Very good game, but proving ground game for Westminster. If they have a chance to make a run at this 3A title, they have to prove it in this game. Unfortunately, I think the Stallions, you know, are still the Stallions. They come out on top.
And 4A, Gulliver at Belle Glades, Glade Central 8-2. It used to be that when Dade County teams went to Glade Central, good night. Maybe not anymore.
Gulliver will have a chance in this game, but I got to go with the home team. Glade Central's looked a lot better this season than the last couple of years.
And last but not least, Chaminade 7-2 at Oxbridge Academy 8-2.
Coach Moose has done a great job over there, but Oxbridge, very tough team. A few South Florida teams witnessed Oxbridge this season, and I got to go with them.
Dre, I'm looking here at your overall records: 218-51 picking games in Broward, 249-56. Can we get you to coach the Dolphins or Hurricanes?
If they'll pay me.
All right, that wraps it up for this week's show. See you next week.